Hello YouTubers, welcome back. Remember this solar panel? Yeah, it's one of the most recent videos, or not the most, but probably the third most recent video I made. As you guys can see, there's already dust build up on it. You can see some of the cells are completely clean, some of them are completely dusty. I have been using this a lot. This has actually become one of my main solar panels because I can hook it up to my backpack with this strap, or come over here, hook it up that way, or I could do it both ways. As you guys can see, the way I have it set up is my iPad underneath, which is already fully charged. I have this cable hooked up because you have the USB-C, USB-A, and then right over here is your DC port. And I have this currently charging, which is reading at 100%. I don't know if you can see that there, but it's actually fully charged. So since it's fully charged, I'm gonna go ahead and unplug it from here. Now, to put this in perspective, this little solar panel, I had it sitting here for about 2 hours. Within that 2 hours, this solar panel was able to fully charge my iPad and fully charge this portable charger. So it is 100%. Now I unplugged it. You don't need that, right? Now what I want to show you guys is this little solar panel is strong enough to charge 3 different devices at the same time. For 40, it was 45, 50 bucks. That's what I paid for this. Now I did some more research. You're gonna actually end up getting a 50-watt solar panel for the same price. This is 40. So if you like the performance on this, if you check out the 50-watt, it might be a little bit bigger, obviously, because it generates more power, but it's also much more powerful. What I do want to show is this right here. These are my babies. This, if you're into self-sufficiency, self-reliance, this is the way to go. This is right here a Bluetti solar generator. The PS54 has a 700-watt inverter with a 500 watt hour, which is half a kilowatt of battery storage. You can charge it through solar, the DC MPPT, which I can show you right now. If I connect it to this solar panel, it will work. So fortunately for me, I was using this to cut the grass. You can tell the grass looks nice. I cut the grass. I have an electric lawnmower. I use this system to recharge the batteries, and then I just connect the solar panel to this to recharge this. So essentially I cut my grass completely free. You have all these different ports, 100 watt USB-C port. All these ports are fast charging USB-A port. You have 2 12-volt 10 amp DC ports, as well as a car lighter, cigarette lighter, and 4 outlets which go up to 700 watts max. So in theory, if you have an electric car, this can charge your car at 8 amps. Does it make sense? Probably not, because it'll probably, on a full battery, this will probably charge the car for 20 minutes, 30 minutes, and then it'll die. If you hook it up with solar panels at max charging rate, maybe you might be able to last 1 hour of charging at 8 amps, which 8 amps, I believe, gives you like 2 miles an hour. So if you're doing half an hour, you're only putting a mile of range back. So ideally, it's not worth it. If you had a bigger battery, then that's a different situation. With a much more powerful inverter, then you could do 12 amps, which will give you around 4 miles of range, plus the battery size. This right here, sorry. This one right here is another Bluetti, but this one is the EB3A, 268 watt hours. So it's obviously smaller than this. They look about the same size. This does have a 600 amp hour or 600 watt inverter, so it's 100 watts less than this, but it's half the battery size. This, you do have 2 out inputs again, as well as this. So this one you can do both of them solar. This one is DC and AC, so you can do both on this one. This one is only DC, if that makes sense, because this is solar MPPT. Now you have this one, which is also solar MPPT at 200 watts max. I believe this is like 205 watts, because It says right here 8 amps. This one's also 8 amps, so they're around the same in terms of solar. So I am currently using this to charge this case right here. As you can see, it's showing about 75% charge. The battery specs are in there. So the battery itself, if you can see, is a 12,000 milliamp battery pack. So with this, I can fully charge my iPhone from 0 to 100% before the case dies out. And as you guys can see, I am charging it. It's almost fully charged, and it is pulling about 5 watts from the solar generator. This is at 89%. Now, what I wanted to show you, you guys saw that solar panel fully charged my iPad and also fully charged this portable charger. This portable charger is 10,000 milliamps plus however big the battery is for the iPad 8th gen, I believe. So now what I wanted to show you is this. This cable came with a separate solar panel that I purchased a long time ago. Came with this cable. These are supposed to be different adapters for any solar generator you come across. No matter the brand, you have all 4 of them. I know some of them take this small one, some of them take this big one, some of them take this. I'm going to show you an example. These 2 solar generators are from the same manufacturer, developed different years. As you guys can see, one of them uses this cable. I can push this right here and it'll work. But this one does not have it. I had to use this one and plug it right here. But the good thing is, they're both off of one cable. Now what I want to show you here is this is the 40-watt solar panel at 12 volts. Both of these are about 12 volts. Now what I can do is if I flip this, you can see you have the DC port right there. Take this, plug it in that DC port, make sure it's in all the way, then open it up again. Now on the other side, I can either take this end and plug it to this big boy right here. As you can see, as soon as I plugged it in, it turned on and it's showing that it's charging. It's actually inputting 7 watts. I'm pretty sure it's more than that, but because the solar generator is fully charged, it's only gonna pull what like remaining balance it needs, or it's only gonna pull the remaining power. Now with the same cable, I can charge this solar panel as well. So as you can see, I'm charging both at the same time. Well, this one's not charging, but as soon as I unplug this one, boom. Now you guys can see this is actually charging. And if you see, this is charging off of this right here, the solar generator. So I have my case charging, which is pulling 5 to 6 watts. The solar generator or the solar panel is partially in shade and it's also dirty. So if you clean it, make sure it's nice and clean, you tilt it properly like that to the sun, you will get more power. There you go. See, I tilted a little bit, got 8 watts. Now I laid it flat, went back down to 6. If I tilt it back up again, just has to be angled. That's not perfect, but you see it goes up to 8, 10. You see what I mean? And then on top of that, this solar panel is literally like 90% in shade. So if I was to come over here and pull this table a little more to where I can get all the solar panels in direct sunlight. If you see, the sun is at an angle, so again, in theory, I would want these solar panels to be standing up like this to be perfect, right? Like at a 45-degree angle. But just moving it, that one solar panel out of the sunlight, still flat. Remember, when it was flat, we got 6 watts. Just moving that one panel, now we're almost doubling our power input. And it's still flat. Now, if I take this solar panel and bend it upwards to that angle that I was showing you, as you guys can see, it starts to pick up. And again, it's late afternoon. It's like 5:30-ish, almost 6 p.m. right now. So imagine if it was much more early during the day. And again, this is small enough where you can fold it up. If I fold this up fully, almost the same size as my iPad. You could literally throw both of these in your backpack, go anywhere, and have power anywhere. Now that I closed it, you guys can see solar generators not charging. But then as soon as I open it, there you go. All right, see, there you guys go. Now it's charging again. But I just wanted to show that. So like in a situation, if you go to a park, you could just leave it. In my case, I put this on the dashboard of my car while I'm at work. So I use these solar generators to keep my stuff powered during the day. The small one I obviously keep inside. I power on all these little devices when the sun is not out. So I have these portable chargers to keep my light bill lower. And then when the sun comes out, I had this table where I just sit it, and then I get to put my stuff to charge. Now for future reference, you guys see this fence right here? Now my idea for this fence is because I have much bigger solar panels that generate much more power. And that's what I've used for the big one down there, the one on the bottom. I use a 200-watt solar panel for that when I cut the grass, because obviously that little solar panel is not going to make enough power to charge 4 20-volt batteries, all 120 watt hours each, and then the solar generators on top of that. It just won't do that. My 200-watt solar panel can power all of that, no problem. And the perfect thing is, if I put it on here, it'll start from here and end right there. And then since I have two of these fences, I was thinking put one on the bottom, lay it flat, this one at an angle so I can face it towards the sun. I could put it there facing towards the sun, and then I could screw the solar panels into the frame. And since I have two 200 watts, I could either put from top to bottom going straight down, which would only be about yay big from top to bottom, 200 watts like that. Then I could put 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. So that'd be 2, 4, 6, 800 watts of solar just on one fence. And again, if I had two, I could put them side by side, or one on the bottom as a base. So then I could put the solar generators in the back side of it right here. So I could put this fence here. I was thinking of cutting a small hole in the middle to put all the wires through. So you have the solar panels here, the wires go through in the middle. The second backboard will be laying flat, and then you will have like a nice angle or space here where if wind comes in, provides a nice cooling for the solar generators, which you can have like tucked back there. It'll also, like when the wires come in, you can have it plugged there, so this is nice and cool. And if the sun is hitting from this direction onto the board, hidden like perfect for the solar panels, you don't want to have the batteries like how I kind of have them sitting in direct sunlight right there, because that's not good for the batteries. But right now it's like 70 degrees outside, so it's nice, and it's a little windy, so I'm not too worried about that. So to put it in perspective, I grab the smallest solar panel that I have, or third smallest one. As you guys can see, this is only a 100-watt solar panel, and look how small it is up against the board when it's folded in half. Now when I open it, and I like it because it's magnetic, those circles are magnets, so it like holds nice and shut. Bro, this is amazing solar panels. This is a Predator 100-watt 20-volt solar panel. It's not 12-volt like the other one. This is 20 volts, and they go at 5 amps. As you can see, all my solar panels have dust. That's because I used them, which is amazing, because you really start to see how much power, especially if you use a lot of power, you start to see how much you save. So if I'm holding it right up here, as you guys can see, has the hose, so that's where I would be screwing it into the wood, right? And then look how long that is. So this is just the 100 watt. With the 200 watt, it'll literally be touching the ground. And then look how they're about the same width or height, as you might say. In this scenario, it is width. And look at all that space. So I can literally fit 4 of these just like this, and they're 100 watts. But if I don't mind them touching the ground, then I can put 4 200 watts. which is double the size of this, because this is two 50-watt solar panels, which is what I was trying to tell you. 20 volts each. So you got, that's the 50-watt. And then the 40-watt is about yay big when it's fully open. I mean, it's a little bit bigger when it's fully open, probably up to there, but like that skinny. This does have a pouch which comes with the adapters, and you have Velcro legs. There's another hole here, so in this scenario, if I want to angle it, I could anchor it to the ground. These are amazing solar panels, like they really are. So when you come here to my mudroom, as you can see, identical solar panel, 200 watts. This is my little cart, because I just throw everything here, and then I can roll it out in and out the house, and I can have everything here. I have my soap for the winter. This right here is an electric pressure washer. Yes, electric, handheld, 20 volt, so it's battery operated too. Pressure washer. This only does 160 psi, which is enough for washing your car, watering plants, cleaning. You get the gist. Then, so I have the 100 watt. Same thing, 200, looks identical, right? Identical. And then that one right there is another 100 watt. Now you might be asking, why is that one smaller than this one? Let me pull it up. And you might be asking, why is this a 100 watt panel and this a 100 watt panel, but this one's smaller than this one? And the reason why is because this is two 20 volt 50 watt panels. This is 4 18 volt 25 watt solar panels. So if you think about it, this is 50 watts, this is 25. So for size comparison, you can see that newer technology is getting more efficient. Because I bought this one and like, you could tell I definitely used this. You can see the wear and tear. Look at that, all dirty. And that wire I showed you came with this solar panel. The first wire, because it's the same setup, DC, which is where I put that wire in, USB-C, quick charge 3.0, and USB 2.0. Now, let me take it outside. To do an actual size comparison, this is the 12 volt 40 watt solar panel. With the cable I was showing you that's charging the solar generators, came with this solar panel. Same setup, and as you guys can see, has the wear and tear, because I've had this since 2018. So from 2018 to now, that is the wear and tear. This is not normal wear and tear. It's the fact that it's portable. I sit this on top of my car from time to time, charge my stuff like this, because this was my first big solar panel, 100 watts. Then my first original solar panel was the other one I showed you, the other foldable one, 18 watts. I think it's 10 volt solar panel or 12 volt solar panel, 18 watts. This one's 12 volt, 40 watts. This is 18 volts at 100 watts. And the other two are both 20 watts or 20 volts. One is 100 watts and then the other one's 200. The size comparison, 40 watts, right? Look how small, 100 watts. So I mean, yeah, you're obviously missing 60 watts, but like 40 watts, 100. And now when you look at the other one, the 100 one is probably, the red one is probably around 3 of these solar panels when fully open, but it might be a little bit wider. So maybe up to there, but up to 3. And then the other one is also, the 200 watt is also the same size, maybe a little longer in length and also more wider than this one. But again, 2018 compared to everything else. And even though there is damage here, I have noticed maybe those cells specifically, like they're not damaged, the cells, but the efficiency has dropped. So when I first got this, I was making, the most I've ever seen is like 95 watts off this solar panel. in very, very best conditions. Now the best that I would produce now, maybe 70 watts. I mean, you do have solar cell degradation, which again from 2018 to 2026, that's almost 10 years. So expect to see some degradation. But then also, as you guys see, there's damage on the coating, which also can prevent efficiencies. But for the most part, it still works. We got the one solar panel in sunlight, and if I lift this up, sorry, I gotta go on the other side. Well, probably won't make sense now. No, you can see it. There's nothing plugged into it, but the green light is on. Now, that's because it's hitting light from here and a little bit of light here, so it's enough to turn on that light. See the green reflection on the table? Now, if I close this, right, lift it up, still on. And you only have 2 solar panels that are in shade, and it's still on. So that's to show that even with half of it, it's still producing power. Now, if I close both of them, so it's completely covered, lift it up, the light is off. I try to close it, no reflection. Now, if I open just the one, right, one side, the light is on. Close it, lift it up, light is off. But yeah, this is convenient, nice kickstands right here. Velcro as well. It has the loop, so you can I put these clips because they're good. You can clip them on the fence right here. So in my case, sometimes, because in the morning the fence right here gets a lot of sunlight, so I'll just clip it on the fence and literally just let it hang. And like if the sunlight is hitting one direction, I put the solar generator behind it. That way it's not getting direct sunlight and messing up the battery. But in my case, you gotta make sure you go with your neighbors and you don't go in their property without their permission. But so my idea back here is with the plants, the compost that I'm utilizing right now, making my own soil, making my own food, making my own power, and with a dehumidifier, if you use power, which I'm making my own power, I could connect the dehumidifier to any one of these solar generators, run it, and it'll just suck up the humidity from the air, turning it into water, putting that water into a tank. I could have a hose from the dehumidifier into the 5-gallon tank down there, and then from there, when I have the solar battery or the solar pump, solar watering system, everything is self-sufficient. I spend $0 on power, $0 on water, and $0 on soil/fertilizer, $0 on food. So I might actually end up making another channel specifically on how to become self-sufficient. Not a lot of people have land to do this. So if you do have land, I might start another channel specifically for farming and self-sufficiency. This channel is for tech, but I mean, you gotta admit, this is kind of has to do with tech, especially with the solar pump, solar panels. And in this case, I'm using tech to integrate with natural life and to make my quality of living better. Because we all know with everything going on politically and non-politically, inflation, nobody's getting a raise nowadays. We're getting like 20% inflation now. Well, I'm exaggerating obviously, but you get the gist. We're like, money is getting tighter year after year. Nobody's making more money, and if you are making more money, it's probably through a corporation, and your average person is struggling to survive. So by doing this, yes, you do have to invest a little bit of money, but in the long run, you're gonna make you can, if you scale this up, you can sell the extra food. If you scale up the composting, you can sell the extra fertilizer, you can sell the extra soil. If you scale up the solar panels, depending on the state, in my state, we do have a program where you can sell the extra power back to the light company, and they pay you 1-to-1, meaning if the light company charges you, let's say 13 cents per kilowatt, and you want to sell the power back to them, you can sell it back to them at the same 13 cents per kilowatt. Other states like Florida, I know for a fact, will pay you less. So if they charge you 13 cents per kilowatt, when you want to sell that energy back to them, they might pay you 5 kilowatts or 5 cents per kilowatt instead of the 13 cents per kilowatt. So just look into that. Whenever you're getting solar, always get your own batteries. Always. And the reason why I say that is I know batteries are expensive. They really are. They are a lifesaver, especially when you can get small batteries like this. You can take them camping. There's a power outage. You might not be able to hook them up to your house, but for sure, you could hook your refrigerator up to this, keep it running during those power outages so your food won't go bad. You could hook up a fan to keep you cool. You could hook up an air conditioning, full air conditioning, like a 5,000 BTU, or on the small one, probably run about an hour. On the big one, 2 hours with no solar panels. With solar panels, maybe 4 hours in the best conditions, but you know, that's give or take depending on the efficiency, depending on the BTU, depending on the power draw, depending on the sunlight. There's a whole bunch of different factors, but just the fact that we can make our own power, we could be self-sufficient, that's 2. And 3, you don't have to rely on the government. You don't have to rely on any big tech. You can start small, scale up, and before you know it, if you're consistent with it, before you know it, you won't have a light bill, you won't have a water bill, you won't have to pay for groceries. Well, maybe for groceries, depending on how much land you have, but you definitely will be reducing your costs and your carbon footprint. For those of you who are not eco-friendly, who can care less about carbon footprint and about being eco-friendly, think of the financial gains you can get from doing something like this. Like, at least for me and my family, which is just 3 people, me, my wife, and my son, we're spending $300 to $400 a month on groceries, and that's just the essentials and the basics. If we decide to go a little lavish, buy a little extra, we're easily hitting $400 or $500 a month, which is kind of crazy. If you really think about it, it's crazy. Seeing how much money you make, how much money goes to taxes. Then when you do buy food, you have to pay more taxes, and then the food is getting more and more expensive. Like, darn near like 80% of my income just goes to just trying to survive, and then the other 20% goes to my debt, which is also accumulating interest. So by doing this, and I know a lot of people, I'm not trying to throw shade out there or anything like that, I know a lot of people are struggling, and this is the best way to start small, because this battery was $180. This one I got a while ago, so it was $500. The bottom one was $500, but to be fair, it's a bigger battery, more stronger inverter, dual charging, while this is single charging. So this does 200 watts on solar only. On the AC port, I think it's 280 watts. Then on the big one, you could do 200 on solar, 200 on the other one, putting it at 400 watts charging max speed, while this does, I think, 280 watts max speed. So you get faster charging, bigger battery, more powerful inverter. Of course, they do not make this no more, so if you try to buy it, they don't have it. But they do have substitute models for this. So if you look it up, Bluetti still makes the EB3A model. They do not make the PS54 model anymore. And with good reason. I'm pretty sure they use the same battery technology, like the same technology in this. They still use to this day. Only difference is this does not have Bluetooth. This does not have Wi-Fi. This does not have app connectivity. And this is all that you get on the display. Pretty basic for the price that you paid. Really expensive. But now if you look up a solar generator from Bluetti at this price range, you would get either the same size with much more features. It would have Wi-Fi. You can probably expand the battery, like connect another battery like this. You could probably connect them two together with the newer models. You know, not these, but the newer models you can buy expansion battery pack. So if you buy like a 1 kilowatt solar generator, you can buy a 1 kilowatt battery pack later on and connect them two together, making it a 2 kilowatt solar generator, rather than having to go buy a whole nother solar generator like I did. That's a plus. In my case, was a con, because I had to buy 2 separate solar generators, which means I had to buy another inverter, another solar charge controller, another UPC for no reason. If all I wanted was extra battery or more battery, you can buy just the battery. I'm gonna give you an example. Pecron is another company. I do want to test out their solar generators. It's a much cheaper than Bluetti. Has the same features, same power output, same solar charge control. Well, I don't know if it's the same identical model solar charge controller, but they do have the same input, same voltage. You get the gist. They both have battery expansion, both have app connectivity, Wi-Fi, and Bluetooth. But Pecron, for some reason, is cheaper. I believe they're both made in China, but Pecron is a little bit cheaper, or you can get it like a good $100 cheaper compared to Bluetti, and $100 goes a long way. For example, $100 can get you another solar panel or two. You know what I mean? Depending on what size you get. So look into that. In this case, like, these solar generators are specifically designed for power outages for a couple hours and to go camping. These are not designed to be powering your house. That's why they don't give you the option to hook it up to a transfer switch, which the newer ones and the bigger ones do. So if you're looking for something to power on your home, look into that. Also, for those of you who live in New York State, you know the permits, you know the regulations. You know, if you wanted to install solar panels on your house, you're easily looking at $30K and up, which is ridiculous in my opinion, especially when you can buy a whole solar panel system, battery, inverter, everything all together for like $5 grand. Why are you paying someone 4 times that amount to install it in your house? That makes no sense to me. This whole bureaucracy is dumb. That's just my opinion. Why would you pay someone 4 times more money to put something you bought on your house? And the item you bought is going to last 30 plus years, make you money, lower your costs, and doesn't even cost that much. How does that even make sense? Doesn't. It just doesn't. So the loophole I found is, if you don't hook it up to your house, you don't need permits. So if you don't have 30K, 40K, or 50K to pay for a solar panel system where they come install it on your roof, so that way your building is powered by solar all day and night. If you don't have that money, get something like this, get a little ground mount, or you can buy these portable solar panels, because that's what they're called, portable, foldable solar panels that have anchors. You have anchor mounts, so you can anchor them to the ground. So even if it's windy, if you're a camper, you have an RV, you like to go boondocking, open this up. You can have the kickstands out, so it's at an angle facing the sun. And with these, you can either, in my case, I put it on the fence so they don't go flying when it's windy, or you can grab a stick, poke it in the ground, clip it onto here. So that way, I mean, they might wobble a little bit, they might flap around, but they're not going to be flying away, hitting another car, hitting another person, anything like that. And of course, these are waterproof. Now, let me be very careful when I say waterproof, because they're semi-waterproof. The panels themselves are waterproof. You spill water here, they're waterproof. They won't get damaged. You leave it outside and it's raining, they won't get damaged. Now, the reason why I say it's semi-waterproof is because this is not waterproof. This is the only component in every solar panel that is not waterproof, which is obvious because you have connections exposed. So you do not want to get this wet. Now, some solar panels, like this one, but my son ripped them off, come with a rubber guard to cover the ports to make them fully waterproof, right? Or as they call it, splash proof. This one does not come with that. So in my scenario, if I have it like this and it's raining, should be fine because it's under. But if it's hitting here, splashing inwards, then that's a problem. Then you want to take this inside. Same thing with this one. But the good thing about the bigger ones, because they put the controller in the middle, not on the end like this one. This one's right here, so if it's raining, water splashing, hitting here. On this one and every other one, or the other two that I have, the other two just has wires coming out, which are sealed, 100% waterproof all the way around. These are semi-waterproof because, again, the panels are waterproof, the stitching's waterproof. There won't be any water going inside the panel itself. But what I will say is make sure you cover this. But enough of that being said, if you like this video and you plan to see a lot more videos on home improvement, tech upgrades, as well as how you can use tech to benefit yourself, because let's be honest, just because we have tech and we use tech every day does not mean that the tech benefits you. Primary example, YouTube can benefit you, but it can also cause depression depending on how you use it. If you doom scroll every single day, then it's a problem. But if you use YouTube to go online, watch videos like this one to educate yourself, then it's a plus. So remember, not all tech is good tech. But in this channel, I will be showing you how to use tech in a positive way and not in a negative way. So just remember, this right here, this little setup, I paid $100 for that solar panel, which now I can get cheaper, obviously. $40 for that solar panel, $180 for that battery, $400. So altogether is maybe about $1,000 just sitting right here. But again, they're all bought out separately. I didn't buy them together. So for me, I didn't have to pay up that $1,000 up front. And now, especially now, you can get solar panels much cheaper and batteries much cheaper. I remember back in maybe 2018, if I'm not mistaken, it used to cost $1,000 per kilowatt. 2018, yeah, I think so. 2018 or 2015. Around that time, it used to cost $1,000 to get a 1 kilowatt solar generator. Now you can get a 3 kilowatt solar generator for $700. That's a fact. Look it up. Petcron, I think it's called the F series, F3000 series. I think that's what it's called. That's the one I'm looking to get. It's amazing. You can use it to charge electric vehicles.